If you're a man over 60 and you've started feeling a cold numbness in places you never talk about, you're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. Frank, a 67-year-old retired firefighter from Colorado, thought it was just age catching up with him. First, it was chilly feet, then low energy, and eventually, something more personal. A quiet disconnect from the woman he'd loved for over 40 years. No pain, no diagnosis, just a slow, invisible fading that no one warned him about. But here's the truth that no one dares to say out loud. This isn't aging, it's poor circulation. Your blood is simply not getting where it needs to go. And unless you fix it, it will quietly steal more than just your vitality. It takes your confidence, your intimacy, your spark. I'm Dr. Michael Evans, and for the past 30 years, I've helped men just like Frank regain not only their energy, but their sense of self. And not with pills, surgery, or gimmicks. With one powerful glass of nutrients each morning that rewires circulation straight from your kitchen. Before we go further, make sure to subscribe to this channel if staying strong, sharp, and connected is important to you. And if you're still with me, type 1 in the comments so I know you're ready to take control. Because what you're about to hear could change the next decade of your life, starting tomorrow morning. So why does circulation start to fade after 60? And why does it matter more than you think? Let me take you back to a quiet conversation I had with Richard, a 62-year-old former math teacher from Ohio. He sat across from me and said, "Doc, I feel like I'm here, but not really living." He wasn't sick. His lab work was fine, but his energy was gone. His hands were always cold, and when it came to intimacy, he whispered, "It's like my body forgot how to respond." Sound familiar? If you've ever felt like your body just isn't firing the way it used to, type "me" in the comments. You're not alone. Here's what's really going on. Around our late 50s and early 60s, our bodies stop producing enough nitric oxide, a natural compound that keeps blood vessels open, elastic, and flowing freely. When nitric oxide drops, arteries stiffen. Think of it like turning a soft garden hose into a rigid metal pipe. The pressure builds, but the flow? It slows down, especially to the areas farthest from your heart. And guess where blood flow gets cut off first? Your hands, your feet, your brain, and yes, your most private, intimate parts. That slow, silent decline isn't just physical. It affects how you move, how you think, how you connect. You start waking up tired, feeling foggy, less responsive to your partner, and slowly, you stop recognizing the man in the mirror. But the good news? You can support your circulation naturally, without prescriptions or procedures. Your body wants to repair. It's just been waiting for the right signal. If this sounds like something you've experienced, comment "yes" below, so I know I'm speaking to the right men. And if you've never heard of nitric oxide before, type "new." You're about to learn a game changer. Because in just 1 week, with the right fuel, everything can start to feel different. Now that you understand why circulation slows down after 60, let's talk about the solution and why it's far simpler than most people think. I call it the morning circulation glass. And no, it's not a supplement, it's not a pill, and it's definitely not some fancy product sold online. It's a drink made from ingredients you can find in your own kitchen. I first came across the idea while visiting a small coastal village in southern Italy. There, I met Matteo, a 74-year-old who chopped wood, gardened every day, and still danced with his wife every night. When I asked his secret, he smiled and raised a glass filled with a deep red liquid. He called it his fire starter. Inspired by that, I began testing and fine-tuning the recipe using the latest nutritional science, and the results were astonishing. Here's what goes into this daily ritual. 8 ounces of pomegranate juice, loaded with antioxidants that help relax blood vessels. 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder, rich in nitrates that the body converts into nitric oxide. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to support arterial lining and cleanse the system. A pinch of cayenne pepper to gently stimulate blood flow, and a teaspoon of raw honey if you like a touch of natural sweetness. Mix it all together. Drink it slowly, on an empty stomach. But more than just drinking, it's about intention. It's about telling your body, I still care. I still choose vitality. If this is the first time you've heard of these ingredients working together, type "surprised" in the comments. And if you're already using any of them in your daily routine, comment "I do." You might be one step ahead. Because when men start this ritual consistently, the change is often quick and unforgettable. When I first introduced this ritual to my patients, I wasn't expecting miracles. I was just hoping they'd feel a little more alive, a little more like themselves. But what I witnessed went beyond what I imagined. Take Martin, a 68-year-old former auto mechanic from Pennsylvania. A strong man, hands like sandpaper, but eyes full of quiet frustration. He told me, "I'm not trying to be young again, I just want to feel like a man." That struck me, not because of what he said, but because of how deeply he meant it. So I gave Martin the morning formula and asked him to stick with it for just 1 week. On day 4, he called me and said, "Doc, my hands are warm again, and I didn't hit snooze for the first time in months." By the end of the week, he said his wife noticed he was smiling more, lighter, more present. And Martin wasn't alone. Alan, 70, a retired postal worker, said his mind felt clearer than it had in decades. Jerome, 65, told me, "It wasn't just about the energy, it was about seeing that spark return in my partner's eyes." Ray, 72, simply said, "It made me feel like me again." These aren't dramatic transformations. They're quiet victories. And sometimes, that's exactly what a man needs to feel whole again. Because when circulation improves, so does everything. Your movement, your mood, your mindset, your connection. Have you ever had a moment like that, where something small changed how you saw yourself? If yes, type "true" in the comments. If not yet, type "soon," because it's not too late. This is about reclaiming more than health. It's about reclaiming you. But even with this powerful morning ritual, some men still struggle to see the full results. And that puzzled me, until I looked closer. That's when I discovered the hidden habits quietly blocking circulation, no matter how good your nutrition or routine might be. Mistake number 1: dehydration. It sounds simple, but it's one of the biggest culprits. Your blood is mostly water. Without enough of it, your blood thickens and moves sluggishly, like trying to push syrup through a straw. And no, coffee and tea don't count. I always remind my patients, if you're not drinking plain water, your blood isn't flowing, it's crawling. Mistake number 2: sitting too long. Modern life has turned many of us into couch dwellers. One of my patients, Stanley, a retired librarian, would spend hours each day reading without moving. He thought he was being peaceful. But the truth is, our veins need gentle pressure, movement, to stay elastic. Just standing up once every hour, stretching, or walking a few steps can spark a difference. Mistake number 3: chronic stress. This one is the quietest thief. Financial worries, loneliness, even health fears. These invisible weights raise your cortisol levels and tighten your blood vessels. You can eat clean and drink all the juices you want, but if your mind is in panic mode, your blood will still be restricted. That's why I recommend breathing exercises, journaling, prayer, whatever helps you feel calm again. These may seem small, but when you correct them, the difference is real and fast. If you know you've made one of these mistakes, type "fixing it" in the comments. If you're already doing all three right, type "on track" and keep going. Because your progress isn't just about what you start doing, it's also about what you stop. After walking this path with thousands of men, I've come to believe something with all my heart. Aging is not your enemy. Giving up is. Too many men in their 60s and 70s quietly accept decline as the price of growing older. They stop reaching, stop believing, stop showing up. Not because their bodies have failed them, but because no one told them they still had so much more to give. But what if you refused that story? What if one glass each morning wasn't just a drink, but a declaration? A promise to your heart, your partner, and your future that you're not done yet. Think about it. One glass that fuels your circulation. One moment of intention that centers your day. One choice that says, I still care. I still want to feel strong. I still want to be present. You are not too late. You are not too old. And you are not invisible. The men I've told you about, Martin, Jerome, Ray, they didn't chase youth. They reclaimed vitality, clarity, and connection. They turned quiet frustration into quiet power. And now, it's your turn. So tomorrow morning, before the day steals your attention, pour that glass. Drink it slowly. Stand tall. And remind yourself that life is still moving through you. You just have to let it flow. If this message resonated with you, type "still here" in the comments, because you are still strong, still valuable, still needed. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe for more tools, stories, and science to help you thrive after 60. You still have chapters left to write. Let's make them unforgettable.